Test that. Have I cured anything?
Have I cured anything? Yes.
Okay, do you have any idea what it was?
I think it has to do with a virus. Like, I've had a herpes, like the simplex, you know. And I think maybe that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the lip herpes thing.
Yeah.
I want you to test, did I cure my lip herpes
Did I cure my lip herpes?
just now when I got the signal?
When I got the signal? Yes.
Okay.
It took a little longer to feel that, but I got a positive on it.
Now test it. Does this mean that it's gone forever?
Does this mean that it's gone forever? I'm not getting anything from that.
All right, so you have more to do to understand and cure the thing so it's gone forever.
Okay.
I never had another herpes outbreak after my very first time that I took out herpes.
Wow.
And that was in... You're watching Anna cure herpes, and you're going to be watching her throughout this movie as she learns one thing after another. What I wanted to do here, and what I'm going to do, is give you the complete treatment protocol, you know, the whole series of things demonstrated, so that you, well, let's put it this way. If you have a friend who has herpes, and you can get her to watch this movie and actually like stick with it and do the things that she sees demonstrated in this movie, and let's say she has an outbreak of oral herpes right now, or genital herpes, and she can stop that outbreak in the middle of the outbreak, in the middle of this movie, like without even finishing the movie, she can kill the virus, and the pustules will die off, and that may take a day or two, but the herpes virus will be dead, so the whole infection will feel different in seconds, in a minute or two. You can tell when it's gone. Okay, when you still have the, you know, the sore, because that takes a while for the body to heal. See, you know, people are always talking about healing, and the way healing works is when you cure something, then it heals. You can't heal things without curing them first. This is where they all seem to get it wrong, you know. You have to cure it first, and then you can heal it. So you're going to watch Anna go through a whole series of things, and you know, as you can see, she actually got a really nice result there. And the next thing you're going to see is how she got that result. So I'm going to roll this back, and you're going to see how it began. Now, she's being coached by an Italian woman who has a, you know, kind of a heavy accent. You may have trouble understanding what she's telling Anna at times. But I'll just tell you that she's going to start, you see this little movement? That's what my signal looks like. I don't know, I think Anna's looks a little different. But so they're talking about getting this signal, and then a feeling signal, which is another signal. And you're going to see all this demonstrated. So here we go.
I'll ask you to ask yourself the question and notice if you get something in your hand, some change in your hands, okay?
Okay.
It could be a finger twitch, an involuntary movement anyway, okay? Okay, the question you have to ask is, can I cure something? You can say it aloud.
Yes, I got some tingling in my fingers.
All right.
Okay.
Nicely
Yes.
done. Now, continue, Ross.
Was the signal you got strong? Did you say it was strong?
Yes, it was immediate. As you were asking a question, I felt it.
Wow, great. That's very good, absolutely. Okay, now let's do something else and ask another question, okay?
Okay.
Can I kill a virus?
Can I cure a virus? Yes.
Okay, now.
I want to interrupt. By the way, you're doing fine, Ross, just so you know. And I'm not interrupting because you're not doing fine, but I really wouldn't like you to sit back. Just try to maintain the back-seated stance. Anna, like when you got your signal, did the way you feel change?
Yes.
How did that feel?
It felt, well, my hands, like I said, got a little tingly, and I felt a peace come over me, like, that's how I feel like I get signals. It's like a peaceful feeling.
So you get
Does
this.
that make sense?
Yeah, you get this thing in your finger, and then you also get this feeling, this peaceful feeling. Now, the peaceful feeling is also a signal,
Right.
and it means that you've cured something.
Oh, okay.
Now, test that. Have I cured anything?
Have I cured anything? Yes.
Okay, do you have any idea what it was?
I think it has to do with a virus. Like, I've had a herpes, like the simplex, you know. And I think maybe that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the lip herpes thing.
Yeah.
I want you to test, did I cure my lip herpes
Did I cure my lip herpes
just now when I got the signal?
when I got the signal? Yes.
Okay.
It took a little longer to feel that, but I got a positive on it.
Now test it. Does this mean that it's gone forever?
Does this mean that it's gone forever? I'm not getting anything from that.
All right, so you have more to do to understand and cure the thing so it's gone forever.
Okay.
I never had another herpes outbreak after my very first time that I took out herpes.
Wow.
And that was in 1993.
Wow.
So, but at the same time, I kept finding herpes in my, other bodies than the physical for years, maybe 18 months anyway. So this is a good movie about curing herpes already.
Okay.
Like somebody could watch what you just did, which is very short, like we've only been talking like 5 minutes. Okay, now what you're watching is and what you're going to be watching, is going to be a series of fragments of a much longer conversation. And I tried to take out, you know, like, instead of having, the conversation was about an hour and a half. And this section is, you know, a fraction of that, small fraction of that. So, you know, bear with it. There may be things that are connected to other things that I've left in that, you know, it was hard to edit it. But I'm trying to give you the relevant points so that you can understand what you're being given here and how to use it. And so we're going to see a series of demonstrations of various ways of using it. What we're trying to do, what we want to, the effect that we want to produce in you, you see, people have been having these spontaneous remissions for forever. You know, look, most people get cancer and they die of it. Some people, like very, very few, in medical science they call it spontaneous remission. Okay? And occasionally somebody gets cancer and then it just disappears. It's gone. And, you know, nobody knows why. So they, what we're trying to do is enable you to know why and how to produce that effect consciously, intentionally, and at will. That's what these lessons are. You know, we're trying to, you know, give you the ability to produce a spontaneous remission, in this case of herpes, like I did. I was having herpes outbreaks for 28 years. Then I discovered I could cure it. I just never knew that I could, you know. So that's what Anna's demonstrating. We call it Immunics. And this is what she's demonstrating.
Yeah.
They could watch what you just did and cure their herpes. And people all over the world have access to this, like some 8-year-old kid in Africa.
Wow.
Can look at a computer, and they have computers now.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a TED Talk, and this guy said he created a school in the cloud. And what he did, he went to this very poor area of Calcutta, and he stuck a computer in a wall right out in the street. It was in a wall, in an alcove.
Wow.
And all these kids started like messing with the computer. And a month later, he was talking to this girl, and she said, she was very resentful. She said, you gave us a voice recognition program in English, so I had to learn English. She was like 8 years old and spoke Telugu. So they have computers. Also, see, in the third world, kids die from herpes outbreaks. You know, they have malnutrition and they get herpes, and it just takes them. Okay. So there's something, you know, like when you just tested this and you got this change in yourself, that indicates that you have a strong God connection.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. See, it depends. Like, a lot of people get a finger signal and then the way they feel doesn't change for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And their God connection is there, but it's weaker. So you're starting out, you know, with a strong God connection. Good, right?
Yeah.
Makes things easier. Makes it easier to do this. Now, I'm going to give this back to you, Ross. Now go ahead and continue with the outline from here.
Okay? Perfect. I have something else for you to test. And I test, is this real?
Is this real? Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Was the herpes I took out a real herpes or a visualization?
Can you repeat that, please?
Of course. Was the herpes I took out a real herpes or a visualization?
It was real.
Okay, good, absolutely good. Do you know that people can cure cancer with this? Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, and it's wonderful, right? It's wonderful.
Yes.
So, what we want to do is for people everywhere to know about this way of curing. And that's why there is a bunch of us all over the world. I am in Italy, for example, and I think I'm the only one in Italy doing this. And we gather together and cure together. So we are a cult.
All my customers are my friends.
I know you seem,
Nice.
you seem like you're really connected to her, to this woman.
She is a very sweet, loving woman, and just, we do have a connection, yes.
It's a good thing, you know. See, you're spending your day being happy. Now,
Yes.
I wanted Barb to hear this next thing. Barb, can you come a little closer? I just want to, you know,
I'm switching with her.
this is the section. Hey, I was going to do it with Anna. Oh dear. Anna?
He wants to be back.
Well, I don't want you to neglect. I don't want you to neglect your customers. You know, it's I can wait a minute. You know, it's no big deal.
It's okay, she's good. I gave her what she wanted. She's good.
Yeah, because they, you know, you've agreed to give them what they want, and you need to keep your agreement. You know, it's not a really very godly thing to shortchange the people who are depending on you. But Barb, all I wanted to say was that this is the contribution section where what I'm actually doing is pointing out like that you have contributed a movie. That's what you have given something today, right now. You've made a contribution to our cure effort by making this movie with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ines likes to contribute to things. She wants to support the end of cancer. So she's already interested in the subject.
Did you put a bumper sticker on your car yet?
No, you didn't know.
I will today.
They're easy to
Okay, good.
Oh, great.
There's one.
Beautiful.
So there's another support step. Okay.
You have to take it off the shower, though.
Now, are you ready to sign? Are you ready to sign up for the web college now?
Am I? Yes.
Okay. Well, we're supposed to end in 4 minutes. Now you're going to watch another session with Anna. This is more advanced. She cured her herpes several weeks ago. The session you just saw was several weeks before the next session you're going to see. And now she's going to find out what more she has to do. Now, she's been doing fine. She's not had a herpes outbreak since she cured it. And actually, the session you're going to see was a while back, and I talked to her yesterday, and she still hasn't had a herpes outbreak. But of course, she had this next session under her belt now at this point, so she's still better off and stronger, you know. So, you know, I'm really trying to give you a sense of the timeline here. You see, the problem that people have with curing, you know, their herpes is that they really don't have a clue about what they have to do. And, well, you know, a lot of people sign up for the web college and they never actually even enter their password once because they don't know, like they're, you know, they're killing the herpes, like they've learned how to kill the herpes, like she did. And, you know, they feel different and they feel strong, and they don't realize that there are other things that they need to cure that can generate the herpes. So we're going to look at a few of them. It's not that we're going to see all of them. And the ones we see her looking at, you know, probably ain't going to be the same as the ones you need to work with. And that's why we've got a college. You know, that's why there's a college on the web, in case you were wondering, you know. And, well, you probably assume that it's because we show people how to cure cancer and other diseases. But no, it's actually that, you know, you're going to, you can hunt through the college and test and find the things that you need to do, which what you're going to see me demonstrating with her in this next section. It's probably been 2 or 3 weeks since we cured your herpes in that previous, you know, film we made a while back. And I'm wondering what your ideas are about how you would know if you were permanently and completely cured of herpes. You really were not, you know, just cured of it. Mm-hmm. Do you have any ideas about that?
I think I can test for it.
Oh, test for it now and test that question. Am I permanently and completely cured of herpes?
Am I permanently and completely cured of herpes? Are you there still?
Yeah, do you get no or yes?
I get a yes.
Okay. Now, there's a problem with that test. And the problem is, I've seen lots of people do this, and I did it too. I tested that I was permanently and completely cured of herpes, and a few hours later I found herpes in my spiral body.
Okay.
So that's a big problem with that test, you know, that the fact is that you are permanently and completely cured of herpes. The test is true. It's real. You're not just testing badly. The fact is that your bodies get it back. They actually go out and get it, like your gravitational body will actually go out and find herpes in another person. Because what your gravitational body, to give you an example, like an idea of how small it is, you had your gravitational body when you were a subatomic particle. That's how small the body is.
Okay.
And it moves very quickly, and it reads other gravitational bodies.
Okay.
And it can do this, like, you know, it can scan like an entire strand of DNA in a fraction of a second.
Wow.
Like billions of codes. It can just scan all of them and find the ones it wants, grab the blank for it, and zip back over, stick it in your spiral body, and then bingo, you've got whatever it is again. And a lot of these things are good. See, that's what the body is supposed to be doing.
Okay.
That's what it does. That's its function. It's not dysfunctional.
Right.
But it somehow gets the reason that you got the codes in the first place was because it got the idea somehow that you needed them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this is where this comes from. So
Okay.
now that you know this, you're gonna okay, let's test a couple of questions. You know how sometimes you get like it feels like people are pulling on you, and like somebody wants something and you just got to move faster and give them what they want, and they're not with you physically, or you can't, you're not talking to them or anything, but it's just like you have this idea they want this, and you're just, because I know you do this, right? You ever do this? You sort of speed up like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want you to test. Is that caused by a virus?
Is that caused by a virus? I get a yes on that.
Okay. Is herpes one of the virus? Is oral herpes one of the viruses that causes that behavior or that feeling that you have to do that?
Yes.
So, see, there's an alarm bell that should tell you that, like, when you feel that way, you need to not do what you're thinking about doing for that person or something. You need to stop and check yourself for viruses.
Okay.
See, people always ask me, like, how often should I check for viruses? And the answer is, when you have symptoms of viruses is one very good time. But the thing is, you need to know what the symptoms are. Like, like most people don't know they have a gravitational body.
Right.
And then they start curing their herpes, like they watch this movie, let's say. And they start curing their herpes, and they feel different. They feel like right now, test this question. Have I cured anything since we started talking?
Have I cured anything since we started talking? Yes.
And do you feel any different?
I do.
Okay, what's the difference?
I feel more peaceful.
Okay, so when you're more peaceful, I can explain all this stuff to you, and it's easier for you to let it in, right?
Yes.
Like if you were thinking about like that you have to do something for somebody, you wouldn't be listening to me, would you?
Right.
So if you see that happening, that's another time to check yourself for viruses. But see, so here's this person who just starts doing this, and they take it out of their gravitational body, and they feel better, but they have no idea what their gravitational body does. So they think they've taken it out, it's never coming back, and it never is.
Right.
Herpes can't come back, it can't go anywhere, you have to go get it.
Right.
Look, I have a friend named Bill who had unprotected sex with people who were infected with HIV. He never got HIV.
Right.
He always he went for regular blood tests, and he always tested negative for it. And to this day, he does not have HIV. Why would he not get it and other people get it? Because his gravitational body didn't go after it.
Right.
And also, a lot of people who are immune to HIV are actually missing a chromosome.
Oh.
See, they're descended from people who lived through the bubonic plague. There were a lot of people who got the bubonic plague back in the Middle Ages but lived through it.
Right.
And their DNA changed.
Okay.
So hold your hand up and test this question. Can I now change my DNA?
Can I change my DNA? Yes.
Okay, hold your hand a little high because we can't see. But I saw your finger move.
I did.
Yeah, I saw. Okay, I did see it, but it didn't. The camera didn't see it, so I'll have to lower this just a bit, I guess. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons. We have watched many people cure HIV. Now hold your hand up again and test this. when these people cured HIV, did their DNA change?
Yes.
Okay, last night a guy called me who has hepatitis B.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was this guy called me a week ago. I didn't return his call. I didn't have time. I was doing everything else. Finally, I gave it to Franny, who called him. She called him yesterday. And he must have seen her call. He wasn't there when she called. But he must have seen that she called on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me back, and I was there when he called. I happened to answer the phone.
Uh-huh.
And so I did this whole procedure with him that we're doing. And he got a signal on everything, and he got all the feeling changes, he got all the feeling change signals. And this guy can cure his hepatitis B. He's ready to cure it. Bill Pelly got hepatitis B and got a negative medical test 10 days later.
Wow.
After testing positive. So I have this hepatitis B cure in my background that I was really close to, and I know this guy can cure hepatitis B. You can cure herpes. The thing is, why don't you check right now, do I have herpes in any of my bodies?
Do I have herpes in any of my bodies? No.
Okay, we've been doing this a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So probably if there was any, like earlier this morning, you probably cured it. We cured other things.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing new people don't know, which is that when you cure one thing, a lot of things get cured at the same time.
Right.
Like, go ahead, what were you going to say?
I said that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Hold your hand up, and there's something I want you to test. By the way, I notice you are very calm this morning. Okay.
It's because I have a lot to do.
Well, here's what I want you to test. Okay. Did I cure more things than I overtly tested for? Things that I didn't know I cured?
Yes.
Okay. So it happens every time. Every time you cure things, that happens. So
well, it opens up. It's not just one thing, because it opens up an entire world of illness that's wrapped around that activity or that concept.
Yes. Yes. Totally right on. Yes. I'm looking at a list of pathologies that is on the hub. Okay. Now, have you ever seen that?
I did.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, now we're going to depend on your psychic ability. See, that's another thing. New people don't realize this, but they're making heavy use of their psychic abilities when they do anything with this, which means your level of intuitiveness skyrockets. Test this question. Hold up your hand. Has my level of intuition increased since I started doing this?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to read my mind right now. I'm going to look at something, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, and you're going to tell me whether you get a signal or not, okay?
Okay.
Okay, this one.
Yes, I got a signal immediately.
Okay, I got bad news for you. It's negative beingness.
Really?
Test this question. Am I, meaning you, in negative beingness?
Am I in negative beingness?
No, right? You get a no.
Oh.
Do I choose people to be in relationship with who are in negative beingness?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
I've noticed that. And so what when you get a signal, you should not jump to a conclusion. What you need to do is ask more questions.
Okay.
See, that's why it's good that you're with me right now. Because if you had tested yourself for negative beingness, you'd be walking around all day thinking you're in negative beingness because you never checked, am I in negative? It's a simple question, am I in negative beingness?
Yeah.
But people don't think to ask it. Is somebody else's negative beingness? Okay, so test, is it my brother?
Yes.
Do I choose men to fall in love with who are like my brother?
Yes.
Oops.
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 Oops. Damn it.
Well, okay. So now I guess you're starting to see how involved this is. You know, see, all the aspects of you are connected. And so if you're in good shape in all areas, you're going to be okay. And you probably now, you're starting to understand how come I never got another herpes outbreak. I never got another herpes outbreak after the very first day I took out my herpes. But I kept finding herpes in my spiral body for like maybe 18 months. I found it just about every time I woke up after sleeping, plus other times. And people say, well, how many times should I check for it each day? You can't. You can't do it that way. You have to actually get to the point where you recognize the symptoms. And this is what we're showing her how to do, what I'm showing her how to do. And maybe I should say we, because there's a lot of us who feed into this. You know, like I'm not the only minister in this church. You may be one very soon. See, this is a cult. And we all talk to each other and help each other and inspire each other with our cures, you know. And the way to really stay cured is to stay in touch with these people who are part of this. And listen to what they're curing, and you'll get ideas, you know, and you'll see something you'll see things you missed when you hear other people talking about themselves. So, you know, get in the Twitter feed, basically, you know, just like read the Twitter feed. You know, she got her, she joined the web college in the earlier session, like right then, you know, she actually joined it during the time we were on with her. And she probably even went into it a couple of times. But what you're seeing here is me using the web college with her, and she never found these things, even though they were there. And, you know, there are little things in the web college that tell you to do this stuff. Look, curing physical diseases like herpes is only a small part of what people do with this. And not only is it a small part, but I'm just going to show you this. This is on the hub of the web college. And you see there it says Skill 1, Cure Physical Diseases. It's the most basic skill that we teach. The other skills are way, way more advanced. And there's 12, they're divided into 12 areas. Like Skill 4 is recall natural laws. And to get into the lesson, see it says lesson under there, and what you do is you touch that little thing and you're on a page that has a lot of, well, here, you probably can see there's a lot of links there, and each one of those is a page that I'll just click on one of them. And, well, did I click on it? And what you get is a lesson, a whole explanation and a bunch of questions and things to test and so on. And that's how the web college is set up. So the simplest and most basic thing in this web college is curing things like cancer. That's skill 1. And skill 12 is getting on your mission, which, whether you know it or not, you can't do if you're sick. So all these people who are, dying of cancer and they seem like they're on their mission, they're not. They can't be, because when you get well enough to be on your mission, you don't have cancer. And another thing, like your normal way of thinking about things, you would just think that it would be easier to cure the way you relate to men or women, like your relationships with the opposite sex, than it would be to cure cancer, but it isn't. Curing cancer is easier. Believe it or not, it's actually easier to cure cancer than to have a good relationship. Unless you just happen to be somebody who's not sick in that way, so you have a great relationship, and you've got cancer, and then you've got some other problem that's, on a higher level, like, well, you'll find out, won't you? If you start doing this, you'll find out, because you now have a way of getting guidance so that you can know anything. This little test, coupled with the good feeling, is your way of finding things out. And that's what you see Anna doing in this movie. And that's why Anna's probably going to be completely free of herpes in 2 years or so. After if she continues as she is now, as you see her now, for the next couple of years, at some point her gravitational or spiral body or whatever body is going out and getting the herpes won't anymore. She's going to retrain it, but she just has to cure a lot of other things. That's how you actually change your DNA and the way your bodies operate. You cure thing after thing until you've cured all the things that relate to that particular problem. And there's really no way to tell what they are. You just have to keep going and cure the next thing. So that's why we call it, ta-da, I'm sure you've seen this, the Cure Drive. It's a drive to cure. We're driving for cures. You're trying to get as many cures under your belt as you can. That's what we're doing. So now we're working on your relationships. Now, hold up your hand again and test this question. Can the way I set up my relationships cause me to reinfect myself with cause my gravitational body to go get herpes from somebody?
Yes.
So in other words, you don't have to have physical sex with an infected partner with herpes to get herpes anymore.
Right.
You can get herpes from a guy, and he doesn't have herpes, but he's in negative beingness, and because of the way he affects you, your gravitational body will go get herpes.
Wow.
Okay, by the way, another good question. Now hold up your hand so we could see it. Does my gravitational body sometimes think herpes is good for me and I need herpes? Hold your hand up and test this.
Yeah, I'm getting a no.
Okay. How about my celestial body?
Nothing.
Okay. When I get herpes when my gravitational body picks up herpes, is it because I'm trying to help the person I'm getting it from?
Yes.
Oops! That's, by the way, see, your bodies do all kinds of things. they don't just go out and get things and bring them back to you. They also try to cure things in other people's bodies.
Yeah.
Like you're continuously trying to change, and it isn't just other people. You're doing it with all kinds of creatures and animals and people on other planets and stuff, because you're actually connected to the whole universe. So you're just doing this all the time.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is that doing this do you feel like a benefit from doing this testing beyond curing herpes?
Oh yeah.
Well, you're going to need to do what I'm doing with you for yourself a lot.
Yeah.
And you're going to save a lot of time by doing it. Because for one thing, if you do enough of it, at some point you won't even be interested in men who are wrong for you. Like you won't have to cure yourself of it, it'll just go.
Yeah.
It'll disappear naturally.
I feel like that's already happening.
Oh, good.
It is good.
So now we're going to test for something else, okay?
Okay.
I'm looking at a list of functions that's on the hub. Have you ever looked at this?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to test for functions that you're weak in or have some other problem with, okay?
Okay.
Problematic functions. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm testing. You're going to do this psychically, okay?
Okay.
So, this one. Just say either no or yes.
No.
This. Okay, I'm going to jump over a bunch of what comes next because, you know, it's a lot of specifics and you're going to have your own specifics. And so you're going to need to find them. You know, you're going to need to test through the web college and find them like I'm doing with her. Like, wait till you try to cure conditions. See, the thing is that I wanted to do all this stuff. Like when I started doing this, see, I'm the guy who discovered you can cure your herpes. I cured mine. It was just a spontaneous thought I had, can I kill this virus? And I got yes, and I did. Before that, I had been doing this for months. And I'd cured like thousands of things, you know, that were emotional and spiritual things. And I was a pretty together person at the time. I owned a gigantic company that did seminars. We did a lot of business courses, and I had money, I had a girlfriend, I was relatively happy, I guess, you know, and yet I had a lot of stuff to cure. And see, that's the thing, is that the reason that most people fail, and most people do fail with this, like you really need to know this, that most people fail because they really just don't have a clue about what they need to do. So they never look, like they never check, like they don't go into the web college and ask, you know, do I have this, when they see one of the lessons. Or, you know, and then like you can just go write down a list and go and, you know, and your finger will move just like I'm doing with her, and she's reading my mind. I mean, she can't even see the words, okay? And that's another thing that you're going to find, that you're psychic. Everybody is. With this, see, you have this feedback mechanism of the good feeling is the really important feedback. It means you cured something. And also the finger movement is like a very immediate, the finger movement is very immediate kind of feedback. And so you know something happened. And so you can check your intuition. Like the reason a lot of people don't, you know, go with their intuition more is because they're they're afraid that they're wrong. That it's not really an intuition, it's just a thought. And as we all know, our thoughts are bullshit. They're just stuff we think. They don't mean anything. Whereas intuition comes from reality. So, this is how you cure things. You use your intuition. And that's why I wanted to demonstrate that in this movie for you with her. I had her do that. We call it blind testing, where she didn't know what I was looking at, and she could, home in on things. We've actually, this was not a very dramatic demonstration, but we really have done some very dramatic demonstrations with that kind of blind testing, so that we know it's real. The person really is getting the thing that they need, and it's right for them. We have a lot of experience with this. I started 20 years ago, and a few of the other people around me did too. They were with me when I started, so we've been doing it a long time. And it's been good, we've been happy and having fun. And now that I've said all that, I should probably let you go back to Anna for the completion of her herpes curing lesson. So here you go, and do this in good faith and enjoy it, and win with it. That's why I give these things, because I want to see you succeed. I want to see you win, and I want you to know what causes people to fail, so that you don't do those things and do the things that cause people to succeed. Here we go. We're almost done, by the way.
Great.
When you signed up for the web college, what option did you choose?
The monthly option.
Okay. And I just want you to know that we appreciate your donation. Why did you choose the monthly option?
Because I didn't have any more money.
Well, so you're pretty stretched in your businesses.
Yes.
Okay. Test this hold up your hand, test this question. Can I cure this financial condition?
Yes.
Okay. So, also, could this financial condition trigger my gravitational body going and getting herpes codes?
Yes.
Anything can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So people wonder, like a person keeps testing, he has no herpes, like months go by. And I had a friend this happened to, and then all of a sudden he got a herpes outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
And when he looked at why, he hadn't checked for herpes in like 2 weeks. And about a week previous, a friend of his died, and he was very broken up. And he just went on and on with this sympathy and the feeling bad and all this stuff. And his gravitational body just went whoopee, And by the way, when people die, their gravitational bodies don't die.
Mm.
So test this question. When he got herpes, was his gravitational body trying to help his dead friend?
Yes.
Yeah, which it does by merging with the friend's gravitational body. And this all happened without him realizing it.
Yeah.
And
the last time I had a herpes outbreak, lips, was right when I'd been going through this breaking off of this previous relationship.
Yep.
And I took over the cafe to start the cookie shop. It was like all happened that week.
And that's where test this question, was my gravitational body trying to help this person who I broke it off with?
Yes.
So, see, you gotta unhook. Breaking up, see, here's the thing, is like, Franny and Greg didn't break off their relationship, but they unhooked from each other.
Yeah.
So you can actually, if you have the right partner, you can actually stay with the person.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of times people are with the right person, they're just relating to it the wrong way.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
like they saved their relationship
Mm-hmm.
because they changed the way they relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, though, since I know a little of the men you've been with, they were probably simply the wrong men to choose to begin with. And then to compound it, you stayed hooked after you broke up with them.
Well, I think that I'm getting that this one particular one, I don't think is the wrong person. I think there's just so much going on in his life, the damage that he's dealing with, that it became wrong for me.
If you could help him. See, Franny can help Greg.
Yeah.
And Greg has the Cure team. He has all of us. And so he can recover.
Yeah.
You know? So if you can help the person, then you can continue. If you can't, then you got to go.
Right, and I can't.
So yeah, okay. So then you got to go.
Not today, anyway. Not at this point. So
now we're going to test you for strong functions.
Okay.
Okay? So this one.
Yes.
Okay, it's adaptation.
Very strong signal in that.
Yeah, you're good at adapting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know what? I'm just going to complete this now because this is how you cure your herpes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This you got to do the work. And
Right.
if you do the work, you will cure all these other things. Your life will be better. Your life won't go into these terrible tailspins that then trigger herpes outbreaks.
Right.
And if you keep the herpes out of you for like several years, which if you continue to cure all these other things, you will, probably. And if you can do that, you might never find it again and just be really cured of it. Like in the real sense, I did that. You know, but it's just because I cured a lot of things. So this last question may be a rhetorical one, but why join the Cure team? What does the Cure team do for you?
Well, it helps me to have a life that works.
By staying connected with other people who cure things, right?
Right. By curing things in myself.
Yeah, because the team won't tolerate you not curing things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this with us. And I know you're going to help a lot of people by showing how you do this. Like, this is what people need. They need to know this is what everybody asks me, how do I cure my herpes?
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't an easy answer. You know, there's just a lot to it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your bodies are? Do you know what your bodies are doing right now? Look, before you turned on this movie, you probably didn't know you had a gravitational body. And now you're expected to know exactly what your gravitational body is doing. And you're going to have to know, because if it's going out and getting another herpes code, you're a dead duck. So you're going to have to be very intuitive to cure this. This is not a routine. It is not a treatment and not a protocol, like the title of this movie says it is. I mean, it is in some sense, but what it really is you being awake, conscious, and on your toes all the time, and intuitive all the time. Your intuition Your intuition will skyrocket as you keep getting signals. Getting signals is what it's all about, which is why it's nice to have all those pages I was showing you a little while ago in the web college, because you can test down those pages and get lots of signals, and then you'll become more intuitive. Also, I guess I, should say about my friend, who I was talking to her about my friend who, he kept his herpes out, I think it was for a year. He had a kind of a nasty case. And then his friend died, and you know what happened? He stopped doing this. See, yeah, his, what he was going through triggered that behavior in his bodies that went out and actually reclaimed the disease. But had he continued to do this, and he was doing it every day for a year, and his friend died, it wasn't even like a significant other, it was somebody he worked with, but it creamed him, and he stopped getting signals, he stopped asking questions, he stopped testing, whatever you want to call it, he stopped doing it. And this is why people fail. It's not exactly that they fail, they flunk, because they stop. They just stop for whatever reason. And one thing I will tell you as far as reasons for stopping goes, whatever makes you sick will influence you to stop. Now, you may not stop. Okay, when something makes you sick, you may not stop, but you are being influenced by it to stop. Everything that takes you down, by definition, if it's taking you down, it's influencing you to stop curing things. That's what assault is. So the assault may be coming from you, but still, it's going to cause you to stop. See my t-shirt? I'm on the Cure team. And now you know why. Because when you stop, if you're on the Cure team, there's somebody else there who hasn't stopped. And you look at them and you go, oh, wait a minute, he's still doing it, so maybe I ought to try doing it. So that's why we've got a Twitter feed. And it isn't going to work unless you talk to the people in Twitter. Just reading what they write is not going to help you. I mean, it will help you, but, talking to them, telling them things about yourself, and then listening to what they say back to you, that will help you. That's what helps you. It's being connected. This is all about connection. See, this signal means you're connected to something that isn't you, if you've already cured your herpes while you were watching this movie, and you took the virus out, you're feeling different now, and that's another signal, and you're in a good place, and you're liking hearing what I'm saying, and you're letting in what I'm saying, because you're receptive, because you're not sick like you were when you started the movie, okay? You've done something for yourself, and so you're different right now. You're in a different place. And in this place you can hear me a lot more easily than you could if you just sat here and watched the movie and not done anything. Okay? Those people aren't going to get anything out of the movie. But that's not you. You've cured your herpes. And when you did, you noticed that there was something there that disappeared. And it was something bad. And you also noticed that it was like an eraser came in. And it just erased it. And that isn't you. That is something that is beyond you, that has that power that you are able to dependably connect to, and wants to erase it, and is waiting for you to give the word, and then it erases it. And that is what connection is. This is all about connection. And connecting with other people that cure things is pretty much the equivalent of connecting with that eraser. So, there are all, important kinds of connection. This is the Cure Drive cult homepage. You can see we tally our cures. That's the tally there, 132,000. You report your cures here, right here. That's the link to report your cure. This is the movie that people start with generally. And there's a lot of people actually curing things on camera in this movie and demonstrating exactly how to do it. It's 4.5 hours. So you would be able to probably understand and know what these people are doing by watching this. We are a cult because we're all over the world. Maybe one person in a town, just one little guy who cures things in a whole town full of people who don't, whose spouse thinks she's crazy because she's curing things and he doesn't. She doesn't get sick and he's down with the flu for 5 days and he still thinks she's crazy. We've had spouses die. So this person is demonstrating curing herpes in this movie, the one you're watching right there. And it goes on like that. Now, these are the people here. You see this black area here? This is our Twitter feed. These are the people you want to talk to. And what you do, see, it says follow Cure Drive. And that's what you do. You click on that, and then you pick somebody. Anybody in here will be happy to help you. So you write to people that you see in here. And there's all these people all talking about what they're curing. So that's what you do. You pick somebody that that seems like a kindred spirit, presumably, and you write to them. See that picture of the cat there? That's Rosella. She's one of the people whose spouse died. He was a very great guy. He just thought it was nuts. Never did it. Died of cancer. Not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So anyway, you just, you write to somebody and, tell them what you are trying to do. People are always asking about negative medical tests. Here, let me show you. This is a voicemail message. You should probably, if you're interested in getting a negative medical test on, let's say, herpes, she got negative medical tests and both kinds of herpes. And she left me this message when she got her letter from the, hospital, I guess. She was in New Zealand. So her tests are free. Now, of course, there's an enormous website behind this homepage. I guess you're probably guessing, right? And if you see these movies, these are all people demonstrating curing various diseases. This is these people chose to contribute their cures to your effort to cure yourself. There are around, I guess, over 800 movies, and some of them are linked to this page. So if you click on any one of these pictures, it will go to a movie and that movie will start playing. So join the cult. Your friends will be worried about you. You're in a cult, they'll be worried. You have the crazy idea that you can cure medically incurable diseases. They're going to be very concerned. Especially if you're battling cancer. Your friends will be worried, and that's a good thing. You will cure things. And that is also a very good thing. You will begin curing things the moment you join, because that's how you join. You cure something. When you cure something, you're in the cult. If you want to get out of the cult, just stop curing things. You won't be in the cult anymore. It's easy to exit. Your easy exit strategy. And who knows? You may even cure the medically incurable disease that you came in here to cure. A lot of us did. That's me there in the movie holding forth on how to cure things. I'm on the cure team. That's what I did. I cured a medically incurable disease. Two of them actually. So I cured 2 kinds of herpes. It was about 4 months after I started doing this that I actually discovered, I'm the person who discovered that you could cure physical diseases. July 1993, my 20th anniversary just passed. I haven't had an outbreak of herpes for 20 years, and before that, I was having outbreaks for 28 years. I got herpes in 1965. The end of the year. 28 years of outbreaks followed by 20 years of no outbreaks. That's how bad it can be and how good it can be if you let it be good. So, take the courageous step that almost everyone you know will advise you not to take. Join the cult. When you're in the cult, your friends will get sick and you will get well. Your friends will give sympathy and you will give cure. And you'll know that you don't even need to take a vitamin pill to cure something. You can just cure it with nothing. Just with you. What can you contribute? What will your contribution be? This woman is curing a flu right on camera. She came in with full symptoms and they were all gone in 15 minutes. You can see it happen. Flu is an incurable viral-based disease. It's medically incurable. She cures it right in front of you. We eagerly await your contribution. And here they are, eagerly awaiting your contribution. And anything that you say to any of these people will probably be a contribution of some kind.